We maybe wait 1 more minute. But I can share already. Do you see my screen? Yes.
Yes.
Super, and you can hear me too, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Just have to let in the people. Okay. So I guess let's start. Good morning again, everybody. Thanks for joining our session on how to submit your doctoral thesis. My name is Nina. We have a short agenda with 4 topics. First, I will introduce you to our team. Then we look at the documents you need to upload for submitting. And then at point 3, I show you, or I tell you what happens behind the scenes, more or less, after you submit it. And then we have some tips and tricks. And if you have any question, I think it's the best just to ask it immediately, straight away after every slide. And I hope I see everybody. And if you have the feeling I am missing a question or anything, just go through and ask me. I see there's somebody in the waiting room.
Hello, good morning. Julius here.
Hello.
Quick question. Is this presentation going to be shared after?
Yes, we have it on our wiki anyways, where you can download it, and it's pretty the current status. Yeah. Do you see my? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Are you guys seeing my screen? I'm just confused at the moment. You see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. It's just with the entry, it's always difficult. You have to flick it away and then let the guys in. But I think now we're complete. So I just started with the agenda already for those who just joined. And we go through our team, the submission on .ds, and the process, which is happening after you submit it. So next page. We are mainly located in Garching, and our team is divided into 2 teams, more or less. We have like the team entries and qualification program, which is Edgar's, Julia, and Stefania. And then we have the submission team, which is also Edgar's, Eleonora, and myself. We are all in Garching. And you can always use the submission email for us, or either grab the telephone and give us a call. We are available the whole week, a bit split up, but doesn't matter. We are all on the same level, or we have all the same qualification to help you. Annette is our boss, and she's located in Munich, but often also in Garching. So if you have special issues, you can give her a call too. Maybe you guys know her eventually. And Julia is the only one which is located in Munich. Yeah, that's about the team. And now we come to you. Once you decided to submit, you need to upload your data via .ds. And within the process tree, it says submission of dissertation. Maybe you saw that already. And because here's the clock, you can see it's not... you didn't work through this step already yet. Right, I have to let somebody in. Sorry, guys. Sometimes my colleague is also joining, and then it's easier to let the people in. But now we have some more guests joining. Let's get back here. So, right, you submit, and then once you submit it, you well, the files you have to submit are the following. Of course, it's your dissertation with a title page, which can be in German or English in the meantime. Then the registration of your dissertation for the University Bibliography. Then the Eidesstattliche Erklärung, which also has to be in German, and the translation you can find in the regulation in the appendix, so you know what you need to fill out. If you have problems on this, you can also get back to us. Then, of course, your CV also, the list of publications. And if in case you do a paper-based dissertation, there's an extra file you need to hand in. If it's the NUD regulation, that's the declaration of your own contribution and the co-authors. We have a template for that. And if you're still the old regulation, that's the so-called declaration statement. It's the attachment 6, the Anhang 6, which needs to be signed by your supervisor. And all templates and more information you can find through the links we added here. So this is about it. That's your part. And then we have another information sheet here, about the examination committee, which we included here in this presentation new because we have so many questions on how do you combine or how can you combine the examination committee? And more or less we have all cases here written down. Yeah, you have to have a closer look at this, but it's a action point you have to do with your supervisor, and this overview helps not to do or to find the right combination. And this sheet is also separately online through in our wiki.
Sorry, I have a question about that file. So I need to choose which professors I'm with during the defense of the thesis, and I have a question for the first slide. If you have the first examiner in the graduate school and the second external, what about the third? If I had a professor who is already retired,
actually, there's no issue on that one. I have show you the next page, which shows you that case in case the guy is retired, the professor is retired. If it's only less than 3 years, then he is anyways acts as an active professor, so no issue on that. If he is more than 3 years retired already, then we need at least 2 active professors. So, for instance, you have an ED professor, and the second.
Excuse me, just the voice is just.
Sorry, my phone. So, can you find an answer for you on this page here?
But my question was rather if the professor is external and retired, what about that situation?
Yeah. A new option. Actually, we have to then get back to the university he used to be, and if they have the same regulation as we have. But let me check. Sorry. Let me along, and I get back to you. Is that a good idea? And maybe I just reply.
I'm already in contact with the graduate school. I may ask them separately. It's okay.
Okay. The graduate school or the graduate center?
I think the graduate school.
Okay. I think the better address is us, and I get back to Annette Spengler, our boss, how to handle this issue then with a retired professor from an external university.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, so yeah, that's a new overview, and it helps you, but we can see there are even more options which are not on this list here, but yeah, we get back on that question then separately. So we come to our third agenda point, which shows you here the overall process of the promotion after you submit it, and you more or less can split it in three parts. That's the submission phase still. Then we have the report phase, and that's the oral defense and publishing phase, we call it. And more or less, it's about 5 to 6 months for this last final step of your thesis. So now we go into detail, and let's have a deeper look. So after you submit it, you will receive via doc.js application form. Let's put it like, oops, sorry. Which you need to print out and bring it to the Promotionsamt. And this application form also, or the documents, you need to print out some documents again and just hand it in to Frau Reisenauer. I am not sure if you're familiar with her. She's the Office of Doctoral Affairs in the city. And in the meantime, the graduate center contacts your supervisors, secretaries, or the supervisor, so they can give us provide us with the information on the examination board, and also the circulation group, which always need to be 2. And we then provide the Promotionsbeirat with those information and the staffing of your examination committee. And after that, they confirmed it and appoint your examination committee. But this is only for your information, because you are out after you submit it. Then it's our turn to push the process to direction or a defense. Here I have.
Sorry. So the supervisor is generally responsible for forming this examination committee. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. It's always you do it together, because I mean, maybe you even have contact with some professors external, even, or from a HAW, which were involved in your thesis too. But it's mainly his responsibility to give it to us. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So here I just the application form, or the Promotionsantrag called in German. You can see how it looks like it, which you provide to the Office of Doctoral Affairs. And one important thing, and this is the address here, either you can go step in by yourself or just send it via post. And here are the documents which need to be included. And in case you're doing paper-based dissertation, you have to add this Anlage 6 or the Declaration of Contribution. Yeah. And you will be provided via email after you submit it, so it's all not so difficult for you to miss this date. But the submission has more or less 2 phases for you too. First, the digital upload via .gs, and the second step is this Promotionsantrag, which you need to send to the Promotionsamt, the Center of Study and Teaching University. Is that clear for you? I guess, yeah. So the second phase is the so-called report phase. we provide straight after the school council, the examinators, with your data, meaning your DIS, your CV, the list of publications, so they can start writing the report. They have 3 months time for this. This is written down in the regulation, but we ask to shorten the process today. After 2 months, they are finished with the reports. It's really we have really professors that provide us after 4 weeks already with a report. Sometimes even take longer than 3 months, maybe so even a half a year. But that's our job to push the professors to provide us with your reports. Once we have received it, we start the circulation, and the circulation is the before mentioned circulation groups, which need to have a look at your dissertation, and we normally have 2 weeks. They normally have 2 weeks time for voting in summertime, and during the winter break, they have 4 weeks time for that. And yeah, this is also behind the scenes, but depends how close you with your supervisor, you are informed on the start and the end of the circulation. Once the circulation was successful, you can start to arrange an oral defense date with a complete board, and you align a date, all 3 or 4 people of you together and agree in alignment. And then we will be informed about this date. In the meantime, it's often hybrid oral defense or even totally virtual. This is no issue in the meantime. And once we have the date, we send out the invitation to the examination board and to you. And that's the official invitation. And for your information, to be 1 week in advance of the oral defense. Since you are involved in finding the right date, that's an issue. But sometimes, we had already the case that the doctoral candidate wasn't informed, and then short notice doesn't work out. So for your information, it needs to be 1 week at least in advance. Right, and after your oral defense, we receive the exam sheet, and then we can close your case. And in case there were some changes you have to do, agreed some changes in your dissertation, then there's an extra loop, more or less. You have 3 months time for that. And once we really have the final examination sheet, which needs to be again confirmed from the chair that you did the changes, then we can close your case. And we will send your data to the Office of Doctoral Affairs. They will check your dissertation and check your title page, if that's all fine with the data when you submitted, when the circulation was successful, and of course also the names mentioned of the committee, the examination committee. And once they approved your title page, they will inform you that you can publish your dissertation. And once you publish, you need to then again send back the confirmation that you published, and because then that's the next kickoff to start doing your creating your certificate. Maybe I give you some seconds to read.
I would like to jump in here with a question regarding the publication. Do I understand it, for one, correctly, that until the end of this entire process with basically talking about a digital PDF file that's handed around, or is there a position before that where the actual physical examples of the dissertation would need to be printed?
Thank you for this question. Yes, it's all digital till now. Yes.
Okay. And yet the other question to me would be publication. I do understand that there's the offer to do that via Mediatum in a digital way, that there's a requirement to have a certain amount of examples of the actual physical book in the library. There isn't even, I see from making the hand. Okay. And other than this, I am wondering if there was a next step to transform the content of the dissertation into a book that is no longer in the academic realm of the TUM, but that becomes published with a publishing house or like an editorial firm. How would it be? Is there any kind of a financial support? Is there any kind of a support when it comes to correcting and proofreading, especially if it was in German?
Yes.
Do you have any information regarding that? It would be great.
Actually, we're the wrong department for that, but either you talk to your supervisor concerning the financial support, and also with the UB, if what's their how do you say? I'm sure several doctoral candidates asked this question already, and what's their expertise on that, or how to do it, or how to solve it.
And at the UB, it would probably be Tina Holman, right?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I'll try my best.
Yeah, I will find out and can give you the contact on that too.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So hello, I need also to ask a question here, and my question would be that this publishing within 1 year is connected to the whole slide we see here. So from the appointment or from the exam, from which to what part?
Mm-hmm. The 1 year counts from after your doctorate, do your oral defense. Once this is all through, then you have 1 year time.
Okay, but it's also tightly bonded to the speed of the official processes. So, or can I directly start with publishing it also with this printing or something after the changing it in the middle of the slide?
Yeah. No, actually, once you have for instance, you have next week on the 1st of April, your oral defense, and then it takes me around about 1-2 weeks till the Promotionsamt checks your title page and says all fine. Then they give you an email or send a letter per post, and from this time on, you have 1 year.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So but you can count maybe 1-2 weeks. And in case you're really in a hurry, because after you publish, you can use your new title. We have just to talk, and then we can maybe shorten the 2 weeks to at least 1 week. But 1 week is necessary for checking and informing the doctoral candidate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I also have a question regarding the examination committee.
Yes.
For example, if I am doing a paper-based dissertation and I have a professor who was my co-author, is this professor being able to be part of my committee? Even she was my co-author?
Yes. As far as I know, it depends. How is it, like one publication or all of them?
Only
or just one? Yes, one. That would be fine. At least another examiner is not on your publications.
Okay.
I would also have a question regarding the publication-based dissertation. So you mentioned that we have to upload a publication list. So does that, or do the applications have to be accepted, submitted, or published?
Let me I can jump the easier, but my not this everything breaks down. It's about this prior and previous. You mentioned this, right? This, yeah. Sorry, and the question was if it's
so do the publications have to be accepted, submitted, or really published? If I have to add them to the list of publications.
Yeah. You know what? I can give you a detailed insight on that separately, because we have in Wiki, we have exactly written down what you really need to mention or whatnot at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Write down your name.
Could you share that with all of us, maybe, if possible?
Yeah.
I must say I would be interested as well to read the criteria or to know where to find it. That's already enough, I would say. But
yeah, no problem. Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, I also have a question regarding a paper-based dissertation. So where could I find the requirements or the table of content, or how should I write the thesis? So if there should be an introduction before a paper or so.
Those information we have on our wiki, and as mentioned before, I will support you provide you with the link in an email to all of you later. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So, where did we start? We're really at the end anyway. So, okay. So about the doctoral certificate, most important, how do you get your doctoral certificate? You will be informed by an email that it's ready to pick it up. You can book a time slot with the following link here, and the certificate can be picked up in the city at Julia's office. The address is in front where I introduced you to the team. And she will hand it out to you. It can also be picked up by somebody else, but then you need to have your agreement on that. And one last thing is, and then you can be proud of yourself and have the new title. One last thing is important. You can have a look at your examination documents and the reports. And this is also in the doctoral office, office of doctoral affairs at Frau Reisenauer, and you need to arrange an appointment there too. That's about the really last step. You have any question on that? No, right? You will be informed via email, and then so here are deadlines. So the day after tomorrow is the due date for submitting for the school council in April. I'm not so sure if you guys are. This is your timing, but then we have also in May, June, in July. So it's more or less depends on you how fast you want to close down now your Anybody here in the group which will be submitting or is maybe submitting today? Okay. And now some more little tips and tricks for the submission. The title page, which is this is the German one, but we also have the English one available and possible to use now. It's just important that you will mention only your school and your institute is the TUM School of Engineering and Design, not the faculty, not the professorship, because otherwise you have then to change it once Frau Weisenauer gets it in the last step. It's also important that you write down this in German, that you are Doktor or Doktorin der Ingenieurwissenschaft, and with this brackets here, Dr. Inch. This needs to be the way it's mentioned here. And I'm saying this so clearly, even so it's just a formal thing to do, but we always see little mistakes on this, and be very, very to the point here.
I've got one question to this point. Is it a Word file where you can change the points? Because it looks very small for putting in Ingenieurwissenschaften to this few dots.
Yeah, the template is a Word document, yes.
Okay.
And
the easiest it can be for you.
And these fields that are not filled out yet, so for example, this the examiners and the dates, what has to be filled out at the time of the submission of the thesis?
Actually, actually, nothing yet, because maybe it's not all agreed and all set yet. Once you submit via DocPS, but if, for instance, the supervisor you have already for sure, right? And if this is not all filled out yet, no problem. The dissertation wurde eingereicht, also this date you can fill in ready. And this date down here you cannot fill in because this is in the past. So no issue if these fields are open.
Okay. And this template, does it just relate to the content of this sheet, or is the, let's say, layout of the page important as well?
No. The layout you can do yourself, and if you want to adjust it to your dissertation, but yeah.
Just the content, okay.
Just the content, correct.
Thank you.
So I have one basic question. Sorry for interruption. Just it's about the examiners. So we have this examination committee, and it consists of, let's say, 3 examiners. Yeah. So the chair is another person who's not one of them.
The chair.
Okay. So, and the supervisor is my supervisor is not one of those 4 persons.
Yes, he is. The supervisor is the first examiner, always.
Okay. So we have the chair and my professor, the supervisor is the first examiner, and then 2 other examiners who are maybe external or from the School of Engineering.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Follow-up question, does it matter who's second or who's third? Is there any difference between these 2 roles if it were 3 in the first place?
No.
Okay, good.
The professors have not have an issue, but sometimes you can feel they think it's a difference, but there is no difference. Okay.
So just one last question. So the reports that have to be written about the thesis from the examiners have to be provided from all examiners. I mean, the chair, the second and the third examiners.
Correct. The reports, the first, the second, and third examinators do the report. The chair is just holding the group together, and he's organizing the oral defense and is, let's say,
the manager of the process.
Yeah. Good description. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I've got one question to this template. I heard that this one is necessary, even if we have, let's say, an elegant standard LaTeX file with the title page. We need this specific form, even if the same information is on there.
The form, as your colleague asked before, is not can be adjusted to your layout style, but the content needs to be exactly what's on here.
Okay, because sometimes I heard stories about that people had proper dissertations, and in the end they had this something like this, a very simple sheet which was handed in separately on the print format or something, and needed to be put in there. I heard it from other schools, so I wasn't sure if it's necessary here.
Mm-hmm. No, the content is king, but the style you can adjust to your dissertation.
Okay, and so
that's a question, right?
Yes, it was a question, and so
yeah.
if the professor, for example, is mentioned or professorship, it shouldn't be on there, so it needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, no additional information. Okay. Thank you.
And a follow-up, this is the file that comes with the thesis, right? It doesn't run separately, but it becomes the first page of the actual document of the thesis. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And is there, sorry, I don't mean to make it more
complicated
than it is, but is there another file? Because I do remember these hiccups also from a colleague of mine where all these different templates appeared and some had to be just as they were and others were to be changed. But I don't know if that has changed maybe throughout the transition to the ED school or...
The issue which we always had were that they just put different content on the title page, and it's supposed to be the way it's here, but the layout you can adjust.
All right, thanks.
And we remember those times when this was always an issue, but it's content wise important that it looks how I'm presenting it to you here.
I have a question concerning maybe a little bit away from that talk, but is the grading system? Is there a grading system for the doctoral grade? For example, summa cum laude, is it still there or it's not anymore?
Yes, we have more or less 3 grading systems. It depends in which regulation you are. So we have 2001, which are still real grades, numbers. Then we have 2012 and 2021. I can add you the grading system in the email too. And the current grading system is either you have failed or passed. And if you passed, you can have the additional level magna cum laude or summa cum laude. And for instance, 2012 was you failed, mit Erfolg bestanden, mit Auszeichnung bestanden, which is the summa cum laude. And we have a translation in English too, and I can add it to the email when we are finished here. Was that the question?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
So may we continue? Another little hint or tip in .gs, the type of dissertation you have to, that's a drop-down menu here, and you put in if it's a monography, a paper-based, or a media dissertation. And this is this one, and the second here, this is only for the paper-based dissertations. Either you're in regulation 2012, you put in the declaration statement, this attachment 6 with the signature of your supervisor, or if you're 21, there needs to be the declaration of your own contribution and co-authors uploaded here on this field. Just because we sometimes see different files uploaded or not uploaded at all. that's why we recommend to be careful when you fill in those files. That is a part of the uploading. And then another one, which is called Arterpromotion, if it's a kooperative dissertation, if the second supervisor is from another University of Applied Science, a HAW supervisor. And if not, then you have a no. And then there's also the art of promotion down here. Either you do it with your internal doctorate, you do it with a university abroad, with a different University of Applied Science, a research institute, or the industry. There you have to be precise.
I would have another question here regarding the other institution, because I'm associated of a doctoral program, which means that I'm not actually a fellow there, but an associate fellow. And one of my my examiners, like the external examiner, would be from that program. Does that make it an international cooperation, or is that just something that makes sense to do but is not to be mentioned?
Yeah, it sounds to me that you're still an internal doctorate at home.
Okay, good.
And here, just in case, for which option will be for candidates who are doing their PhD at Fraunhofer Institute, let's say?
Oh, pardon, can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, so my PhD is at the Fraunhofer Institute.
Yes.
And which option will be here? So it will be like doctor.
Yeah, supervisor, right? You're saying?
I mean, here I will choose this option, like doctorate in cooperation with the research institution. Out of these, so if you see on this slide, there is art, there promotion.
Yeah. Pardon, is your supervisor from the research institute, or is
I have one supervisor from research institute, yes. Like
okay. And the other one is from TUM.
Yes.
Actually, but who's the one who you mentioned on your supervisor agreement? There's only one person you can.
No, there are two people.
Okay. That's a special case. Then maybe I just write down your name also and check whether then this is internal, or you have to click on the research institute as a corporation.
Okay.
Can you give me your last name? Yes, yeah.
Which name, sorry?
Your last name, or is your last name Yazia?
Rashid is my last name. I can write in chat.
Yeah, perfect. Good idea.
Thanks.
So yeah, that's about it. And then we have again sum up all the important contacts concerning submission, Edgar's, Eleanor, and myself, and then our functional address. We have some helpful links here too to our wiki. You can see already submission. And then I will talk often about Frau Reisenauer and her colleague is a colleague Frau Kummert, which are at the Center of Studies and Teaching, Office of Doctoral Affairs, where you get in touch in the last step then before publishing. Yeah, that's about it from my side now. It was a bit complicated at the beginning. I'm sorry for that, but maybe you have some more questions, or if you have questions that come up, you can just get back to us and we are happy to help you. Thank you.
I have also a question. I am a PhD student of mechanical engineering, but my graduate school is IGZE. So all these rules and dates are also valid for me, yeah?
Yes. It depends. Who's your supervisor?
Professor Siron, and now it's about a few years that he moved to Hamburg, but he also have the permission to act as a first examiner up to the end of this year.
Okay. It sounds like it that you are with us, but let me double check. Sorry, the professor's name was?
Professor Siron.
Siron.
Christian Siron.
Okay.
And the chair is Computational Institute for Computational Mechanics, Professor Wall.
Okay, and write down your name, and I can get back personally to you then.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I also have a quick question. For the paper-based distillation, do you have to have the tomb affiliation?
The tomb?
Do you have to have the tomb affiliation in the paper if I wanted to submit a paper-based distillation?
No, I have to question also separately. Too special.
Okay.
Can you write me an email on this topic again to the submission?
Right. Okay. No.
Okay. Super. Actually, the first exchange partner on those detailed questions concerning paper-based is always your supervisor. He should actually know too. We're always we want to help, but sometimes it's so in detail that this is really an issue you should exchange with your supervisor. But just get back to me, and I will try to help too. So, do you have still questions? Georgia.
I have one more question. If your supervisor is both at an institute and at TUM, then the choice there is with cooperation to the institute, where you say what type of doctorate. For example, my supervisor became a professor after I started with her, but is also director of the institute at Helmholtz.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm being paid from Helmholtz.
Okay. Also special. I have to get back to you too on this one. But for me, it sounds that it's actually internal. Which professor? What's the name?
Eleftheria Zegini.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And one more thing, these slides are going to be shared after through email, or?
Yes, I can. Actually, we have it on our Wiki too, and it's easier not to send it, but I give you the link so you can just download it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So one more question from my side.
Mm-hmm. Please.
So when we submit the dissertation, let's say we upload on the doc system and Promotionsantrag, from this process until the oral examination, this would take around 5 to 6 months, right?
Roundabout. I mean, we have cases where it was 2 months, and we have cases which is more or less 9 to 10 months. It really depends on this report phase. And the submitting is defined, and the oral defense more or less too. But the report phase, that's the crucial part more or less.
Mm-hmm.
So in case you have really, if you're in a hurry because you start a new job and you need a title or whatsoever, or you go to the abroad, this is always important topic to talk to your supervisor and to inform them. And then it's a co-working phase now in the last. No? It's not you who is depending on it. And yeah. And also, if we are informed on that too, we can push it. We can try to push it too. But still, the professors are the ones which are sometimes the bottleneck.
Okay, so that means one can get the official doctor title after the end of after you pass the oral examination, or is it 1 year after, like after the publication of dissertation?
After you published it, after you publish it, and you have 1 year time, and it's your turn again to do that. And after that, you can call yourself doctor.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
I have a very, very basic question, but where can I check if I am promo 2012 or 2021?
When you were on the Promotionsliste, there you decided actually which regulation you are in.
Okay.
Via DocGS, you can see it.
I was looking in that, but I couldn't find where was it. But yeah. Okay, I will check then. Thank you.
So I'm checking the chat. There's some. I have such a cheap phone from the Tome, which has no option to put down the sound. So that's the reason why it's always ringing. I'm sorry, guys. So let me check the chat. Okay. So, Julia, you're asking about you have to be enlisted minimum 2 years in the promotion list. Does this 5 to 9 months waiting also count into those 2 years? No, those 2 years are related to when before you submit. Being member of the graduate school, right? Those 2 years you mentioned, you're meaning. Okay, so I hope this helped a bit to be ready to submit. If you have any more questions, as mentioned, just get back to us. We then try to help, and I will sum up some questions you had, put it in an email, and get back to you.
Also, another quick question regarding the membership. If I enrolled under TUM, let's see, in October 2021, does that mean I can graduate by this October? Because I don't receive the membership confirmation for the first year because I didn't beginning that year.
Can you do me a favor and get back to either Stefania or Julia Menz? They will go with you through the membership dates or what is necessary, and they can give you a proper answer better than me.
Okay, good. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I think we're all done, huh?
Yeah, thank you, Nina.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome.
Have a good day, everyone, and see you.
Many thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.